We had traditional food, traditional diet, and nowadays many people are coming with vegan diet, different types of diets. So as per Ayurveda, what is the right way for diet and food?
Ayurveda has no right way except to say that you should be aligned with what's needed for you. Ayurveda does not give the same food to every person. It gives guidelines, but it does not give a prescriptive menu plan, because depending on your doshas and your gunas and the strength of your mind, the strength of your body, your ability to prepare foods, your ability to get access to foods, the climate, the age of your body, the other diseases that you have, and what you grew up eating from your annaprashan to the first time your baby tooth fell out, that period of time, what you were eating. If you moved to Japan during that time and you were eating sticky rice and sushi, then you can come back to Gujarat or Delhi and eat whatever you want from age 6 to your death. But every time you get sick, you will do well eating those Japanese foods, because that's what you ate during your upbringing. That biochemical programming in your childhood when you're first learning to eat is called okasatmya. So if I look at you sitting in Jaipur, and I think you've been in Jaipur your whole life, but you spent your early years living in Norway or in Ladakh or in Kerala, you're going to need different foods when you're unwell. And you're going to need a menu plan that includes those when you're not well. Even if you have married someone in Kerala and so you're eating, idli sambar every day, but in fact you happen to be from, Jaipur, or you're Bengali, you're going to need to adjust for those. So think of how many combinations there are, infinite. So Ayurveda says that you just need to know the guidelines and then put it together. And that is why you should really work with someone who's a competent, not just an Ayurvedic physician by credential, but by competence. And if you can do that, you can set up an absolutely wonderful meal plan. So in order to address this question, because I get it a lot, I'm putting all of these together and I'm working with a team and an amazing visionary named Hari Kiran, who has got me teaching at Indic Academy a course called Conscious Diet. And it's a blend between plant-based diet, which is a Western concept, and Ayurvedic nutrition. And we're putting those together. I also have classes at Dinacharya master classes where we go shloka by shloka through the Sanskrit text. Every single shloka, it took us 4 quarters, which was basically a year, to go through each and every shloka in the Ashtanga Hridayam on food. And so teaching it in 5 minutes is not possible or logical for anyone, because of the people that are listening, they're of all different ages, all different sizes, shapes, prakritis, doshas, their dhatus are at different levels, right? So yeah. Ayurveda, though, does have guidelines which apply to different people in different ways. It's like a puzzle, putting it together for people.
Definitely, that will really help, because there is so much confusion related to food nowadays. People are changing their diet drastically, and
they're hurting themselves.
Yeah, in the long term,
do you know the Indians that become vegan do very well for 6 months and then they get sick?
Yeah,
they get sick, and the question is, why do they get sick? They can't figure out. Kamjor hai. I don't know why. I think I'm doing it right. Maybe I bought the wrong brand of poha, or maybe maybe the kiwis that I brought from Australia aren't as fresh as I thought they are. I don't know why I'm feeling so kamjor. Yeah, so you weren't born vegan. Desi people need to eat desi cow products: ghee, dahi, takra, and doodh. These main ones. They need to see how the paneer is made. If the paneer is made like crap, they're eating crap, right? If the milk is being curdled in a bad way, and then that looks nice as a paneer cube, but it's not made properly, you're eating that. You are becoming like that paneer cube. We call it bhejal in Bengali, which means like unfortified or unwhole. So vegan people really do suffer in India.
Absolutely. And even I have seen people in my village, even my grandfather, he lived till 90s, eating that traditional Indian food. So,
And knowing when to eat it,
yes.
not only when in the day, but when in the month and when in the season, and how to eat it and with what not to eat it. So those are called Virudhdha Aaharas. So Charaka describes 18, Charaka is another wise man. He's a master of Ayurveda, and his book is called the Charaka Samhita. And so we read that as well in Ayurvedic training. So at BHU, we love the Charaka Samhita. So that was my official formal training. And then my Gurukul training was from Kerala and Coimbatore, which was the Ashtanga Hridayam book was preferred there. But Charaka says 18 different incompatibilities. And if you look at them, they are so biochemically and medically, like if you talk about modern medicine evidence, they're so right. It says, don't have milk with meat. Someone will say to me, but what about Punjabi, murg makhni, like the chicken, what do they call it? Chicken cream curry, right? In English. What about that? I say, well, if you grew up from age 6 months to 6 years eating cream chicken curry, you can have it. But if you didn't, then cream and chicken are not going to get hajam. Hajam means digestion properly. They're not going to get recognized in the belly, and then they're not going to get digested. So don't eat them. Or another one is milk with yogurt. Milk with yogurt is such a common thing in lassi, but it's so bad for you. Have the yogurt, put a little water in there, mix it, put some cumin and coriander and black salt and jaggery, fine. But putting milk with, which is cooling, with yogurt, which has bacteria swimming around in it, that is hot, the two together to make some kind of like lassi drink is very bad for the body. Very, very, it basically ruins the digestive fire. So these combinations are all taught in Ayurveda, and they're brilliant. They're actually so brilliant that if Indians weren't so disrespectful of India, of Bharat, then Indians themselves would be the champions. And in fact, I was talking with a dear colleague of mine, and he said, you know, we don't need to prove Ayurveda is science. What we need are champions who actually speak that Ayurveda is science. And we need it not just from the Ayurvedic doctors, we need it from engineers like you, technology specialists and chemists and designers and marketing agents and people all over society. When they start saying, this is my Bharatiya Prachin Gyan, right? Prachin means ancient, Gyan means wisdom. And Bharatiya is the ancient land that we now call, you know, part of it called India. If we take that knowledge and we actually talk about how to bring it into the present day and why it works, we would have people transformed in a generation, just like the people that learned how to use iPhones. Do you remember when iPhones were considered to be not good in India? No one had an iPhone. Why? Too expensive, not available, no factories here. Everyone had, you know, those little mini phones or Samsung, or I think it was mostly Samsung because Google phones hadn't come out yet. So it was mostly, I think there were two brands, right? Nobody knew. Suddenly there were some champions. There were some people who showed the prestige of going to America and bringing back an iPhone. And suddenly it became the thing to have. And those champions brought Apple. I think they were actually Bollywood celebrities and sports celebrities. They actually brought iPhones. And now it's considered a prestigious thing to own an iPhone. Just like that, when Bharatiya people, we children of Bharat, decide that we're going to really look into Ayurveda, just like Manoj Simplify is doing, that's going to bring the wisdom to people to say, oh, maybe I need to try this. And it's going to be the 20-somethings, right? So the people that are 20 to 30 years old right now, who are going to be the ones that do it. because they are the ones that are young enough, they're just starting families, and they're going to be the ones that say, well, wait a second. My parents didn't use Ayurveda because they were too busy trying to go to America and Germany and be, full of prestige. But my grandparents or my great grandparents were using Ayurveda. Let me try that. Let me go to my Gao, our ancestral Gao, and find out why they prefer Godhuma to wheat. What's the difference? Godhuma is freshly harvested wheat berries that have no preservatives on them. We're not using all kinds of chemicals to get grown. They just grew. Why? Because they naturally grow as weeds in parts of Haryana and Punjab. Take that Godhuma and take those berries and pulverize them, peshna. Take out the little parts that are very hard. The rest of it becomes atta flour, and cook with that. And I will tell you that the parathas or the rotis or the puri, what else do we eat? Roti, naan, right? That you make with that atta is so much more tasty than the brand names that you're buying, which have insecticides, pesticides, fillers, preservatives, bagging agents and color agents. That atta never tastes the same. So that art of learning Godhuma versus wheat, Raktashali versus Kohinoor rice, or India Gate rice, learning those is something that the 20-somethings are going to learn, because women will realize their fertility is better, their stamina is better, and their ability to concentrate is better when they actually understand food. So I'm excited for this current adult generation to embrace Ayurveda and become the champions of it and to take it forward. It's an exciting time for the resurrection of Ayurveda.
Absolutely. And actually, from my journey also, I can say that in the times we grew up, we didn't had anything related to Ayurveda around us. But through internet and online, now we are getting opportunity to explore experts like you about Ayurveda. So definitely, I believe that young Indians, they are going to explore more about this. And thank you very much. I'm really honored to have you on this session. Any last advice would you like to give for the people watching?
Just go inside your mind, go inside your heart. Learn what intimacy is. Intimacy is not sex. Intimacy is being in touch with your 5 senses, your mind, and then dropping down from your thinking through your mind into your heart. And when you think through your heart, when you think through your man, people say, "Meri man mein ye sochi." Your mind is here also. When you think through the powers of the heart, you'll get a lot of signals. And those signals will tell you where you need to go. That's what's going to guide you forward. Thank you for having me. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.